Hello! Welcome to the Roll4It Dark Heresy Civil War Aftershow! How are people finding it since now your character's flown off into the void, Shen having his mind wiped a lot?
Again?
We're all still alive.
I know. I'm surprised.
Yeah, that's very surprising.
I'll be honest, you handled the situation fairly well.
I took 0 damage the whole time. Never got hit.
I tried to give you some damage.
Wasn't even dodging. It was just people not hitting.
Yeah, mostly. I mean, there was dodges here and there, but...
Yeah.
At one point, I rolled 80, 77, 76, 73. In a row. In a row. I don't know what to do with that. It's all fails.
I mean, the demon, one of the last things it did, it was try to cast Inferno. That was like 2d6 plus... the psi rating is casting at like 9... with like a high pen blast, so it would have hit Enoch and Branda. It flubbed the roll of like a 97 or something. Like, I was rolling quite poorly.
Everyone was either rolling absolutely amazing or piss poor. I mean, there was a nat 100, there was also a natty 1. There was a bunch of rolls under 10, under 20, and there was a bunch of rolls over 70 that just all missed. It was... There was no mediums in this fight. It was all extremes.
I mean, Ravan... kind of shite.
He opened the door twice. Good for you, Ravon. You opened the door.
He failed to open the door to the right place as well.
Yeah.
He teleported around randomly and then collapsed.
Pretty much. I mean, he did dominate one guy and got him to shoot another guy, but taking out mooks is pretty much par for the course, right?
I know.
That's such a good way to put it. He teleported to the wrong place twice and then passed out. Yep. Good old Ravon.
Why are we
between you
following
to do
this guy?
banshee stuff.
Why are we following this guy? I just...
You backed the wrong horse.
I mean, in terms of like stats and powers and stuff, he's pretty good. He just couldn't roll at all today after the couple of dominates.
Yeah, I was quite surprised how quickly Khan went down and how ineffective Ravon was. They were both just sort of like, they were there. They showed up. They got a participation trophy.
Yeah. I mean, Khan was quite tanky as well. But
that's all he did. He did no damage. All he did was tank.
Yeah. I mean, he tried a couple of times, but the positioning was just a bit off. And every time he tried to like actually hit someone, you were outmaneuvering him. I mean, Enoch blocked the charge on Branda, which was useful. Branda's good use of Maximal did a lot of damage to people.
Oh yeah, that plasma pistol did so well.
That worked well, especially like I used every shot that it had.
Yeah, the downside is there's always that 5% chance that you'll maximal yourself in the arm.
Yeah. I just had to take that chance every time. Look, I did end up going through the entire session and never using that one fate that I got.
Yeah.
In the end, still got that fate. I considered using it on the intelligence check at the very end.
Fair enough.
I was like, I don't know, maybe there'll be one more important thing.
I was quite disappointed that I failed all the Medicaid checks because I was going to come back and start shooting at Ravarn. Because I never saw the transition from the demon into Lasari's body. I didn't witness that. I was over by the door, down the stairs. And it was like, I'm still here to screw up Ravarn, and that's what I would have tried.
That would have been quite funny. Because if you could have gotten the drop on him, you probably would have taken him out.
I mean,
maybe.
It's a shame that Cash isn't here to talk about Lasari.
Yeah, well, Brander can talk about Lasari. How do you feel about Lasari,
how do you feel?
Brander?
Well, he's definitely not happy that she's sort of exploded into dust. Would have been better if that hadn't happened. He still doesn't know what she thinks of him. Because the entire thing could have just been to get at Cassius. He doesn't know. He's like, oh, well, I guess
now he'll never know.
If the demon is removed from the plane while
inhabiting time,
while inhabiting someone's body, do they get removed entirely from that body, or does part of that body's consciousness go with them?
How do you mean?
Like, I mean, the demon's been around for a long ass time. I assume the demon isn't just its own thing always, because it's constantly inhabiting X or Y or Z. Doesn't it ever pick up anything from those as it moves on?
Not really. You'll get like their memories and stuff, but it doesn't really phase it.
Oh, interesting.
So it doesn't become a little bit Enoch and a little bit Lasari.
No, it could impersonate them a little bit afterwards. because it's still a
my
Zemember,
God.
it knows the mannerisms.
2 years from now, Lasari's gonna walk into Brander's room and be like, "Oh, hi, sailor."
I mean, lacking the
Well,
body, it's a
no,
little bit hard.
if we have another Dark Heresy series, it's going to be set exactly a year later.
No, that literally is like, another Dark Heresy series. It'd be like 6 months later as you're anticipating this and happening a year.
Yeah, we do get to plan for it. Well, hey,
It was
Ravon, you've done
suffering
this
a lot
like
of
7
negatives,
times.
by the way, because it had just been let out.
Nah, we took it down from full power or some of this.
Yeah, totally.
It wasn't just a quarter of the demon. No.
It had 40 HP.
Was
Let's
it
just say
a
the
lesser
last time that
then?
demon was
Did it
in,
count?
so when it killed an entire village of people. Many villages
Shush
of
about
people.
that, bastard.
Didn't finish his job though.
I was a child.
If Enoch got into combat range with you, he was just gonna say, "I'm gonna finish what I started." I'm just trying to kill you.
That would have been so good. We'd have to explain it though.
If it actually came close to that, like that was gonna happen, I was gonna have to send you over a quick Skype message. What was the name of your homeworld? I finished what I started on. Blah 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 blah.
Smack.
Oh, it was gonna be good. That never happened.
What was the name of your mother as she squealed and "Please don't kill me"?
Oh God, I wasn't gonna go for the parent taunt. There's something sacred. Come on.
At that point, you've probably turned to heresy again.
Yeah, exactly. Some things are sacred. He finished what he started, but he's not going to mock the way your mother died, man. Come on. That's a bridge too far.
Yeah.
Man, Garrett's brutal.
It's a shame that Enoch missed a lot of the damage on the demon, because Enoch's got some real damage output there. But Brander and Cash has made up for it.
Enoch landed a lot on Khan, though.
Oh yeah, Enoch, pretty much soloed Khan. Apart from a couple of shots from Brander.
Yeah, Brander did a huge amount of damage to that plasma pistol, though. That was really, really good.
I was so worried that I was going to I was so worried that I was going to kill Khan because I missed Brander with only 1 degree of failure, which would be a hit on Khan. And Melt-A-Gun doesn't do a small amount of damage.
Yeah. Oh, I meant to do that. I'm on your side, guys. Really? Make a deception check. I fail.
I don't have deception.
I believe in my willpower is terrible. Oh no, it's fellowship. My fellowship's also terrible. I'm bad at things. I can shoot things and run.
I got the same problem. No willpower, no fellowship. You want to start a conversation? Might want to talk to the face.
Willpower, but for some reason my rolls are just terrible when I needed them. I've got 41 willpower or something like that.
It's a good job that Lasari failed by the most, because otherwise it would have been one of you guys.
Yeah,
it was actually determined by the dice, because I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Garrett.
I was like, oh god, it could be me.
That's why he told me not to
only one
roll.
that got higher.
That's why he told me not to roll, because the demon literally cannot inhabit Enoch anymore.
Yeah.
I knew what he was rolling for at that point. He was like, yep.
I don't know how many episodes there have been, but this was the first willpower check that I passed. I'm proud of that.
And then you passed the fear check as well, man.
I passed 2 willpower checks, and they were both fails.
I picked up resistance to fear, so that helped a little bit.
True. But
it would have been a pretty good ending, though, honestly, if Garrett had turned into the demon.
That's what I was expecting. When I saw that roll, I'm like, I'm the demon now.
I mean, it wouldn't have been a bad way. I'd have just gone, Garrett, Shen, here's a new character sheet. Have fun.
That would have honestly been really good.
But I'm perfectly happy having it be like Lasari or whatever that comes back, and then you have to kill Lasari, and then, you've lost an NPC. Not a major NPC, but a pretty poignant NPC. It's been in a few episodes.
Cassius is going to be crying in his pillows for weeks. I don't know how you're going to console that.
He's going to do the whole starving for a week thing.
I don't think Cassius is the sort to weep over that, honestly. He's like, oh, well, that ship sailed.
He wept over Carolina. Well, he starved over Carolina's for a bit.
As Carolina's was a battle brother. That's different.
She was fighting too.
Yeah,
that's a bro code. No bro code between Lasari and Cassius. Totally different set of rules of engagement there.
So we have a few questions. I must admit, most of the questions that we've got tonight have been focused about Shadowrun. Seems people are kind of psyched for that. So,
okay, we can skip those. That's not fair.
Thank you.
This is Dark Heresy Aftershow.
This is Dark Heresy Aftershow. Those of you wondering, by the way, why you can see this, you're not a Patreon. We release this to everyone because we decided that, you know, it's the end of the season, so we might as well do like a after show and then release it to everyone because, you know,
and
why not?
This is kind of a teaser because if you want to see more of these, you can sign up to follow on Patreon. That's how you do it.
You gave away our cunning plan there, Shen. Our cunning plan.
I gave it away. I'm too excited about it. But yeah, these after shows are fun. We talk about bullshit and whatever comes up, how the series is going, what we think about today's episode. And yeah, you can do all this on Patreon. It's great.
It's just like this, but with more splat.
That's true.
More splat.
Slightly more splat.
Who do you think was the MVP in the last battle?
Like, who was the most useful in the battle?
It's kind of hard because Garrett was on the other side, but the other side rolled just poorly across the board.
I think it has to be Enoch. Enoch was instrumental in A, keeping Brander alive, B, killing Khan. Didn't really do much with the demon, but I think those two things were super important. If Brander had gone down, that would have been... I assume Khan would have just gone straight for Cassius. Khan hated Cassius with a passion.
I mean, the problem is Cassius was backpedaling, like, quite well. So...
I still think that made a big difference, though. The fact that they had that epic point where Enoch parried the Thunderhammer with his own Thunderhammer, that was fantastic.
That was actually pretty
Who was
cool.
saying you should have picked up Khan's Thunderhammer and dual wielded? And you could
spin around in a
going
dervish.
Bang!
Oh yeah.
Just crush their head between the two hammers.
Avak, who do you think was MVP then?
Pretty amazing. I'm going to say it was Brander. I genuinely think Brander probably across the entire thing dished out the most damage, easily. A couple of us had pretty powerful bursts here or there, but consistently you were doing massive amounts of damage to pretty tanky opponents, and that flintlock shot, that was literally movie-ending material.
You did take a lot of the demon, a plasma, then the flintlock. You took a chunk off Garrett. You took a chunk off Khan.
And to burn fate, not to die to you.
The plasma's really nice. And I've used all 20 shots that I got with it when I acquired it.
You know who else was a pretty good MVP today?
What?
Prone Imperial Guard.
That did kill, like, what, one mook? 2 mooks? 1 mook?
He forced one mook to burn fate to survive, and then he killed him the next turn. From prone. And it's like, okay, sure.
I mean, shooting a gun from prone isn't too hard, so...
I want him to just be prone for the entire fight. Never stand up, just be a...
The problem was he ran out of sight lines, and, like, Khan was, like, on the ground, being like, I need help. So he ran around the corner to try and help, and ended up next to Enoch, and Enoch was just like, yeah, you're dead now.
It was like, I'll get to you in a minute, I'm killing him. Like, oh, you then, like, murdered him straight after the thing of, like, I'm busy here, I'm trying to murder him, can you let me move? And then you let me move, okay, boom, right, carrying on.
I mean, it's when it gets to a certain stage, you've just got crazy abilities. Like when you went into the fight in the previous episode, where I was like, you know, you're going through the hallway, there's a couple of servitors, you're good enough now that I'm not going to make you roll. Just, you know, roll to see how well you do. But you kill individual servitors, there's no need for battle. Individual guy next to you, Enoch is so powerful, the chances of anything interesting happening are not worth rolling for. You just kill him. It's badass. There you go.
Yeah, Enoch built for what he does, but that being said, he did roll pretty badly at certain points. It was not good.
And when you were rolling and hit, there were some really clutch dodges against you, especially against that flail.
Yeah, true.
That poor flail rolled a 99, a 96, and a 97. That flail did not do much, except for the killing blow on Khan.
I know, that was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
All of that, just saving up its good karma.
Think of it this way, Enoch. You'll always have Khan close to you'll always be close to Khan's heart.
I guess that's still on the end of the... Oh no, it's still in Khan's chest, sort of.
Well, they kind of got half pulled out, but then we kind of ran with the idea that it was on the flail and people were just beating each other with, like, Khan's heart.
Yep.
Sure.
So you still have that now on the deck of the ship.
If you want. It was like you drop your
Captain's
hammer.
gonna be like,
however you
It better
want.
not be still breathing, because if it's still beating on the end of his field, then that is something very different.
It's not.
No, see,
honestly.
what's going to happen? What's going to happen is Carolinus's servo skull is going to be very interested in it all of a sudden. Be like, oh, look at this.
Attach that. Slowly building a new man.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm really annoyed that Cassius didn't try and use his side powers on Khan earlier, because I'd been building up to this. The whole, Khan is a null. That's why he hates Psykers. That's why he hates... It's because he's been exposed to a demon, and Psykers and demons have only really done bad to him. So he has this real, hatred of Psykers and demons that's built from that. And people treat him poorly, especially Psykers generally, because he comes across as a dick to them. So he's just X more of a dick. And it builds up from there.
It was fun though.
Yeah.
I thought today was great. It went longer than I expected, but whatever. It was great. Final episode. Last week was fun. The whole series was fun.
I enjoyed last week quite a lot for the combat, because the whole tactical moving void shields and stuff, and you played around it, etc., worked quite well. This week had some nice RP at the end for the demon, which is pretty cool though.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite part from the entire season then?
That's difficult.
Yeah, that is pretty difficult, actually.
I mean, that's...
To be honest, I would say my favorite part was the kind of heart-to-heart talk that Carolinus and Cassius had. I really, really enjoyed that role play. That was pretty cool. There's the two guys just sat there over a table, just talking about serious talk, And then that moment where it's like, well, that test of faith. And
yeah,
that whole sequence was really, I enjoyed that a lot. I know that's one that I was in, so I'm biased, but
yeah.
I actually felt that was a really poignant role play scene.
I think part of that was the build up, that you had that perfect, your characters were arcing in that direction, and then you had that connection of, do we heresy or not?
Yeah.
It
was really
nice
cool.
to see
I
the build
like
up paying off.
I think the most amusing thing for me, it may not be the best moment of the series, but the most amusing thing for me was the way Cassius just kept hitting on Lasari over and over and over and over again. And all of a sudden we're given this shuttle. It's ours. Skybeast. It's ours. And Lasari comes over and gives Brander a kiss. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, that's got to burn Cassius so hard. That was great.
I mean, Splat had said he thought that it was the whole Princess Leia kiss. Now she's dead. I guess you'll never find out. It was the Princess Leia kiss.
Of course it was. so many succeeding charm attacks, basically.
But
what about you, Ben?
Poor Brand is like, I didn't want to know that.
No plotline is sacred. She is now
Why
dead.
did you have to tell me that?
That's fine. No, it's not so bad that she died. I mean, it's still quite bad. It's still the person that died.
No, I don't care that
Oh,
she died.
she didn't choose me. Well, fuck her then.
happened.
She's dead.
You're cold, Brenda. Cold.
I mean, you could have
The
let her
Windows of the
live. You could
41st
have
millennium.
let her fly off and then try to capture some other day or whatever. But you chose to go for the whole.
That's not how
kill her
demons
now.
work.
Well, it kind of is. Enoch's around to prove
Yeah,
it.
Enoch's around.
Yeah. That'd
what
go
was-
wrong though. The demon
so
wouldn't
what-
fall for the second time.
So what was your
Hard to
favorite thing
know.
in this series, Bentham?
I don't know. With moments, it's always like that. Well, there's 84 hours of stuff roughly. So it'd take a million years to. I'd think of something
right.
and then 5
84
minutes
hours
later
is
it's
a million
something better.
years. Yep.
But in terms of just stuff about it, I really liked devising all the secret background stuff with EE that people didn't know, like the pistol, and Branda's backstory and stuff, and then revealing it bit by bit and having people theorize and stuff, and about planning which side I'd join and people and then the whole line of I serve the Imperium being deliberately vague so no one had a clue what was going on.
I like how it perfectly came down to that balance that no one knew exactly where you were going to go. They were pretty sure, but it was interesting.
Well, I'd more or less gone with the I'll serve the Imperium thing. But it was when Spurs was like, everyone's picking their sides, and it just seemed like the perfect place to end that session. It was like,
Yeah.
I already have, as he's swinging the hammer up to clobber.
I think that's where the difference between this and just normal roleplay comes in, that we have a sense that it's also a show, so we know when to drop the cliffhangers and stuff, and that was a great moment to end on.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
I know chat went
It
crazy.
worked out
about
well,
that.
too.
Did anyone pick up on why the demon got loose?
You mean because they shut down the warp, or what?
initially why it could actually reach out and start playing with the threads and bringing people into places where they let it loose.
No.
Was it releasing the first bit? I didn't actually know that because that had already started doing the stuff.
Cassius only knows a little bit more than the rest of you. So the reason of that is, it was mentioned that it was a Slanesh-aligned Demon Prince originally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you notice that it mentioned the Deceiver, the Weaver of Fate? Yep. And it had Tzitz-like, blues, a wing, etc. Technically, it was actually an unaligned Demon Prince to begin with, but then became more in service of Slanesh. Upon its incarceration, it made a deal with Tzitz and became more Tzitz aligned. And that way, the bindings that were initially more focused towards a Slanesh demon became less applicable, so it got a little bit more power, and it used its influence with Tzitz to weave fate to get you guys into a position where you could let parts of it loose.
Interesting.
And situations aligned, because Tzitz does that.
Still, Ravon did a really shoddy job of directing us. Being like, yes, purge heresy over there. But he should have been like, bring back the stuff so I can correctly deal with it.
Yeah. To an extent, he didn't know exactly where people had planted stuff. Like the rock, he didn't know exactly where that was. Specifically so that if he was compromised, because he can always get possessed or whatever, he's not a null, he wouldn't know how to deal with that. So the fact you went there, he was like, yeah, cool, you deal with this, Khan. And Khan, didn't know anything better. He assumes the demon's been destroyed or banished. You blow up the rock and then, something's going down. The blood jar, again, no one knew where that was. That was meant to be in the possession of one of his acolytes. Again, that went missing.
Chekhov's vat of blood. It mattered all along.
The batteries, he knew where that was. He made his way there. You got there faster because you were closer. But there's nothing you could do. It was too late, and that was just a random accident. Influenced by the strands of Tzitz, because that's what Tzitz does. And then the final one, of course.
Was the battery emptying something to do with us firing the guns or something, or was that a separate
No, that
thing?
was done beforehand. It was because basically a haywire field is created by these torpedoes that the Dark Elder use, and they shut down systems and stuff. That had caused the batteries to just go flat.
There's a part of me that wondered for a moment when you said the battery was empty and the power in it was what matters, was like, oh crap, did we use that up when we fired the guns?
It wasn't attached to anything. It was in a locked room that was secret
it was
and
completely
warded.
isolated.
Yeah. Like, there's very little that could have done anything to it there, so you were fine. But I felt it went well. I certainly learned a lot about Dark Heresy. Second edition changes a few things. Some things are better. Some things are a little bit ambiguous. Certainly the thing about standard attacks bugs me, because they use the word standard attack for you make a weapon skill roll, and standard attack for a +10.
Yeah, so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, it's information you can use in the future.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I mean, in general, it's better than first edition, because first edition didn't allow you to take certain things. It had a tree, and said you have to take things in a tree in a certain order. And you couldn't do stuff like a guardsman couldn't be a melee person. A guardsman had to be a shooty person, because they didn't give you perks for melee. Like, they made you very much you follow your archetype, which is a shame. This way you can pick things out for certain prices. I kind of like that. It's a little bit complicated, but it works. I don't like requisitions. Requisitions can go screw themselves.
Oh.
Yeah, that was
at the high level, but not at the low level.
Yeah.
It was okay if you got your roll, but if it's only like a 25% chance or even lower, it's like, what?
Yeah, that's why towards the end I was just silly. Like, look, you've got certain like milestones. Someone's just going to give you something. Here's a difficulty thing, like a rarity. Go pick.
Yeah, I thought that was much better, just because we could say, okay, I need this. I'm going to get it. And you had it. It was great.
In terms of the difficulty curve of the weapon damage, there is an interesting threshold where you suddenly passed, was it rare or very rare? Suddenly, plasma pistol, melter gun, thunderhammer. Oh, yeah, by the way, it went from one level of bolt pistol to, oh my god.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I think they need to flatten that curve out a little bit.
Yeah.
Or at least add some intermediate stuff in the middle. Whatever. But it was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed the series. I had a lot of fun with Dark Heresy.
Yeah.
It was a good experience.
Shadowrun just as much.
Indeed. I'm looking forward to that quite a lot.
It'll be awesome.
But that's where we'll end the after show for today. Bear in mind that if you're a Patreon, you can see all the after shows, etc. by being a patron at a certain tier, the blah, 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 blah. But thank you very much to everyone who supported us, even if you just support us by coming along and watching them when we're streaming them, or, of course, when we're on YouTube on the VODs. Those are great, absolutely great ways to support us, especially when we get the word out to other people. You know, word of mouth is always the best reward. So thank you so much to everyone for supporting us so far, and I'm glad that hopefully you've enjoyed it. But we'll see you next time. Roll safe.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye, everybody, and goodbye from Splat. Sorry you couldn't be here.
Comcast.